I hadn't played this guitar for a while and I forgot how much I love it. I haven't shot videos for some months now and maybe I will explain why, but I wanted to make this one because last week I read the press release about Epiphone releasing new guitars. 1963 Firebirds, sort of reissues with high quality components, Gibson USA pickups, hardshell case, and Epiphone is releasing both a Firebird V with 2 pickups and Maestro Vibrola and a Firebird I with 1 pickup in the bridge position just like this one. And in that case, prices start at around 1500 euros for the Firebird I. And I've read some comments online about how the line is inspired by Gibson, especially on price. So I grabbed my Firebird that generally sits right behind me all day and started playing it, and I wanted to share my thoughts with you. So this is an Epiphone limited edition Joe Bonamassa Firebird I, nicknamed Treasure, and this model was released in the second half of 2016 and I purchased this in the summer of 2017. And the construction is exactly as it used to be in the 60s, based on the design of the automobile designer Ray Dietrich. This is a neck-through body guitar. Basically, the center of the body and the neck are a single element, and in this case 9 pieces mahogany and walnut. The wings are mahogany and are glued to the body. So this one is really a 1963 reissue, if you want, like the ones that have just been released. And the shape is defined reverse Firebird, but I like to call it the real Firebird because a non-reverse shape was introduced in 1965 for 3 main reasons. The first one being very poor sales of the original model. But this happened to all the new guitars that Gibson introduced in the early 60s, including the Flying V and the Explorer. The second reason was the hostility by Fender, claiming that this guitar was a copy of their offset guitars like the Jazzmaster and the Jaguar. And finally, the difficulty of the build, because this type of construction was not and is not easy at all, and it costed a lot in terms of both materials and effort to produce a single guitar. So the non-reverse was introduced for these reasons, but honestly I don't like it at all. It lacks character, while this one has plenty in my opinion. This specific model is based on an original that Joe Bonamassa uses. It was lent by a fan, and it was available in 2 color options, a tobacco sunburst and the polymist gold that I have here. And in 2017 I had just my Les Paul and I wanted a different guitar with a different style and different pickups. I eyed this model that intrigued me both for the visuals and its simplicity. 1 pickup, 1 volume, 1 tone, and that was it. I had no idea at the time about who Joe Bonamassa was. I found one used in one of my favorite shops, and it had been purchased and then returned after a couple of days because the the owner, the original owner, didn't bond with it. It still had plastics both on the pick guard and on the pickup. I tried out, I liked it. It costed 600 euros. I thought it was a fair price, so I went for it. I personally love the Firebird. It has a number of pros and cons, and let's start with the cons that are very few, or better, for me it's just one: the neck dive. So, you know, the neck, you see, tends to go to dive down, and I personally don't mind it that much. It's not a problem for me, but to many this could be annoying. And other than that, there are some elements that might not be everyone's cup of tea, if you want. The first probably is the size. The tail, in fact, is huge, is very large. So the volume of this guitar is pretty large. So again, I find it comfortable both sitting and standing, but you have to, slightly adjust the way you play. So you have to adapt, and to many, this might be an issue. Another element for me is the polyurethane finish. As I said in a previous video, I prefer nitro because poly feels, a little plastic to me. But again, it's personal preferences. On this specific model, the nut is plastic, or better, ivory PVC, but anyway, it's not bone, it's not the new Graphtec nuts that you find on the new Epiphones, but we can live with it, and it can always be replaced. And from this point on, in my view, we have only good and positive features. And the most important one is, in my opinion, the construction itself, because this is exactly as it ought to be, and it provides the guitar with great sustain, with the neck-through body construction. And if you think about it, in 2017 and in 2018, the cheapest Firebird that Gibson had in the catalog was the Studio model, at around 1,000 euros, if I'm not wrong. It resembled the shape of a Firebird, but the construction was completely different. It had a set neck, like you find on the Les Paul and on the SG. It mounted humbuckers or P90s, depending on the year, just like a Les Paul and an SG. So it didn't have the Cluson tuners, banjo tuners, so it wasn't really a Firebird. If you wanted a Firebird without spending thousands of dollars, this one was the real deal. And this guitar here has a Firebird pickup, not to be confused with mini humbuckers, and because they are something different. And with this Probucker FB 720, Epiphone replicated, the original one in Joe Bonamassa's guitar, and this pickup is extremely clear. It reacts very well to the picking dynamics and volume control, and it's extremely inspiring. If you want some clean tones, I have my tone at 3 now, and volume is full. Some distortion. And you don't have noise. It's really a great pickup. Another interesting feature is the neck. The shape is a 1960s rounded C that is not thin at all, especially up here. It fills the hand nicely, and it maintains a solid feel throughout its length. And moving here on the front side, you have the usual scale that is 24 and 3/4 inches. We find a rosewood fretboard with dot inlays. The radius is 14 inches, so really flat, and we have 22 medium jumbo frets. Talking about the hardware, we have this wraparound bridge. It's a bridge tailpiece lightning bar that is adjustable. And here on the other side, we have the Firebird banjo tuners from Cluson. It's the reissue of the originals. And Joe, in the video that introduces this guitar, explains that they are pricey to buy in the aftermarket, and in his opinion they might even contribute to the tone, but they are very firm, and sometimes when you slightly turn them, the change in tuning is maybe more than expected. But apart from this, they hold the tuning in a great way. Consider that I took this guitar out after 2-3 months that I hadn't been playing it, and it was perfectly in tune. Finally, if we look at the controls, as I said before, since we have only one pickup, we have one volume and one tone, and the knobs are gold top hats with metal inserts and the pointers, and I think that this is an interesting feature. It's very useful. And finally, the guitar was shipped in its deluxe gig bag and included a certificate of authenticity. As you might have noticed, and as I've already told, I think this guitar is killer. It's not only stunning, it plays so well, and it sounds amazing. So what do I think about the new models, for which, by the way, no demo or review exists yet, and so of course I haven't tried. I would address the first typical question: can you pay $1,500 for an Epiphone? And my general answer is, why not? If a guitar is well built, if it sounds good, if it employs high quality materials and it ticks all the boxes, yes, you could. And the same applies, in my opinion, to made in Mexico Fenders. And I'm pretty sure that blindfolded, 90% of players, me included, wouldn't be able to tell the difference with dearer model. Would I personally pay $1,500? Well, as a rule, I find it difficult to spend more than 1,000 euros for an instrument. All the ones that I own were paid less, leveraging offers, discount, used models, B-stock. But that is me. I'm a bedroom guitar player, so I'm a novice. But what I think is, I don't see a reason for the new guitars not being at least as good as this one, that I repeat is great. Would I pay more than double the price for the new Firebird I compared to this? On the specs alone, probably not. Okay, in the new ones you have CTS pots and Mallory capacitors, you have a hardshell case, and you have a Gibson pickup. But I think that this pickup here, the Epiphone FB720, is an excellent sounding pickup, and I think that the difference between this one and Gibson cannot be night and day. This one has a rosewood board, and the new ones are Indian laurel. So if the labor cost is the same, if they come from the same factory, let's say, I don't think the features of the new ones justify the price. I'm not against Epiphone at all, you know, I own two and I like them, but in my opinion, you know, given what they were able to achieve at 600 euros, I wouldn't spend 1400 for a very similar guitar. But this is my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments right below, and I hope this video was interesting and useful, and thanks for watching.